Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it moments later? Or made a quick decision in a rush of emotion that cost you dearly? We've all been there. But what if we could train our minds to pause, to respond with clarity instead of reacting with chaos? This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, and it begins with one simple shift: learning to choose your response. Reaction is instinctive, it's automatic. It's when someone cuts you off in traffic and you yell without thinking, or when someone insults you and you lash out in retaliation. It's fast, emotional, and impulsive. But response? Response is a choice. It's when you take a breath, observe, reflect, and then act, not from emotion, but from intention. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Imagine receiving a harsh message. Your heart rate quickens, your fists clench, and your ego screams, "Defend yourself, attack, prove them wrong." But then you pause. You take a breath. In that pause, you find your power. That pause is where your freedom lives, because in that moment, you are no longer a slave to your emotions. You are in control. As Epictetus wisely said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Why do we react instead of responding? The answer lies in our conditioning, fear, ego, and the fast-paced nature of modern life. Everything is quick, from fast food to fast replies and judgments. But Stoicism teaches the opposite: slowness, stillness, self-awareness. A Stoic doesn't suppress emotions. They understand them and then choose the most rational path forward. To train your mind to respond instead of react, you need to practice daily, just like strengthening a muscle. You wouldn't expect muscles to grow overnight, so you need to go to the gym, lift, rest, and repeat. Similarly, training your mind requires time and patience. First, practice the pause. Whenever emotions rise, pause. Count to 5. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself, what would my highest self do right now? This simple practice can create a powerful shift. Second, reflect daily. Before bed, ask yourself where you reacted during the day, what triggered you, and how you could do better the next time. Marcus Aurelius himself would journal each night, reflecting on his actions and thoughts. Though not perfect, he made a daily effort to improve himself. Third, choose your response intentionally. When someone offends you, you can choose silence. When things go wrong, you can choose patience. When emotions rise, you can choose calm. This is your power, and it's available to you at any moment. Real-life examples of Stoic responses can be seen in everyday situations. When someone insults you in front of others, instead of reacting, a Stoic reminds themselves that their words are a reflection of them, not of me. You can smile, walk away, and remain unshaken. Similarly, when faced with an aggressive driver in traffic, you can remind yourself, I control my mind, not the actions of others, and maintain your calm. These actions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength, of someone who has mastered their emotions. In relationships, the difference between reacting and responding can change everything. If someone you love says something hurtful, you feel pain. But instead of reacting, you ask yourself, are they okay? What made them say that? Is this about me or something they're going through? This kind of emotional intelligence builds deep trust, de-escalates conflict, and nurtures love. As Seneca said, a wise man is content with himself, not because he is self-sufficient, but because he is wise enough to control himself. At the heart of Stoicism is the goal of achieving inner peace, not through controlling the outside world, but by mastering your inner world. Life will present challenges. People will disappoint you. Things will go wrong. But the Stoic remains steady because they don't react. They respond calmly, wisely, and deliberately. So next time you're faced with a trigger, a rude comment, a frustrating situation, or an emotional storm, pause, breathe, and choose. Choose to respond, not react. Choose peace over pride, growth over ego. That's the Stoic way. Remember, you are not your emotions, you are not your reactions, you are the master of your mind. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Train your thoughts, train your response, and in doing so, you'll transform your life.